Traders, welcome back to another trading lesson. Today's market started off with a downtrend working lower with a tiny break and a new extreme here. The market opened in this area. So when we first came to the chart, I had a downtrend working lower with a break and a new low and a tiny uptrend working higher. But this is more so like an area of development, just waiting to see what the next market cycle is going to be. I was curious if we're going to get some established uptrend working higher. If we were just going to work sideways into like somewhat of a trading range or continue working lower. So I was just sitting in my hands when I came to the chart this morning and just waiting for prices to print to see what the next market cycle would be. You can see we have a first entry short, which failed into a higher low here. But this wouldn't be enough for a reversal. We need to see that nice failed second entry short above the EMA. So let's see what prices do. Let's see how the prices print. So we did, in fact, reverse. We pushed below the EMA like this. It's not quite clear what's going to happen next. We need more price action, but the fact that we're below the EMA here is the first sign that it's a little bit more bearish than expected. It's quite unclear. So let's see, are we going to break these lower lows and work lower, or are we going to turn into some sideways trading? And we do in fact break these lower lows. So this is the first sign that, hey, prices could potentially have some channel working lower here. We did break these lows. It's still too early to draw this channel because we would need to see further pushes down to confirm some channel working lower. But this is definitely a sign that, hey, it's way more bearish than expected. So let's see what happens next. We have, if you reset the count here, we have a first entry short, pullback, second entry short. This is a very tempting setup because you're already anticipating some wider channel here. So if you're going to go ahead and start drawing this wider channel, this is a very tempting second entry short off of this channel and closing right below the EMA. Problem with this trade, what kept me out of it, is I feel that it's still a little premature. I wanted to see further push phase in order to trust this channel. Whenever it's early in the beginning stages of a channel establishing, I really want to see the confirmation setup, which in this case would be the lower high. So that's what I was looking for. I was looking for the lower high to confirm this second entry short here and confirm that this channel actually was valid. If you took the second entry short, I could see why. It was just a little bit premature for my liking. I was more so looking for the lower high to confirm this second entry short here. But you can see by the time we got the lower high, it closed so far low right into these lows. Body is so far from the EMA that we just simply can't enter. But price action is working as expected here. And we push lower with this push phase. So now for sure, this downtrend is confirmed and in play. So things cleared up for me now. This area wasn't that clear. It was still a waiting area, waiting for prices to print. At this point, channel's clear. Our bias is confirmed. We're in a downtrend. So I'm just looking for that two-legged pullback second entry short at the EMA to take advantage of this downtrend working lower. So we have a small leg working higher here, a first entry short. I'm thinking some second entry short at the EMA here. So you have your first entry short, pullback. It looks like the second entry short actually triggered below this bearish bar here. But it's quite congested and of course way too far from the EMA. Let's see if we can get something at the EMA. You can see we push higher. So now we're back below the EMA. And when I see prices back below the EMA, I can see we have a first leg up, a second leg up with a break in a new extreme. So I'm starting to think about some lower high here to take advantage of the next push phase starting. Let's see if we can get some lower high here. By the time the lower high forms, you're way too far from the EMA. I needed something in this area closer to the EMA. So I have to be patient here. And prices just continue working lower. So unfortunately, the lower high didn't form this time, but next time if you're expecting a lower high here, you got the right idea, and you can take advantage of prices starting this next push phase. So once again, like in this area, nothing changed. We're looking for that two-legged pullback second entry short at the EMA. Same thing here. We're looking for that two-legged pullback second entry short at the EMA. So I have this tight uptrend working higher here. I have a first entry short, pullback, and it looks like I got a tiny tick. Is that correct? Yeah, I got a tiny tick higher there. So it looks like there's a second entry short here. Problem is I'm above the EMA. I wanted to see the EMA reject prices to consider the second entry short. So when I have it above the EMA like this, I'm looking to see if we can get some lower high below the EMA to confirm this second entry short. And two, this is the first break of this channel. So according to price action rules, trendline rule, we're expecting a new extreme of this downtrend now that we have our first break. So we do get the lower high here, but there was no bullish bar as a setup bar. It just formed as a bearish bar, so it feels quite steep, and to the signal bar formed as a bullish bar. So I'm real patient in this area. When I'm seeing this form here, I'm thinking about some failed second entry long below the EMA. You do have your first entry long, which turned into a lower high. So I'm thinking about some failed second entry long here to take advantage of this downtrend needing a new extreme. You can see some congestion formed here. So what's going through my head right now is some break out of this small congestion, breakout, pullback, lower high. That's what I was looking for. So let's see if we can get it. So prices pushed higher and created a new extreme for this uptrend. So when I was watching this live, I was thinking, okay, prices maybe want to give us two legs here, something like this, before pushing back below and getting our new extreme. So let's see what happens. So we push higher, we have our two-legged pullback here, which you can see we're exceeding the measured move. At this point, I'm still not giving up on this downtrend. I'm waiting to see prices push below the EMA, and I'm looking for some failed second entry long to take advantage of this downtrend needing a new low. So let's see if we can get it. You can see we push higher again. So now I'm starting to think, okay, I'm not giving up on this downtrend yet because we haven't retraced enough for me to give up on it just yet. But I am getting clues from the market that, hey, this is a little bit more bullish than expected. So I wouldn't be playing this channel here just yet. I'm still not giving up on this downtrend because we just haven't retraced enough of this downtrend for me to give up on it just yet. But once again, I am starting to get some clues from the market that this is just a little bit more bullish than expected. So when we get to this point, it's quite clear, okay, it's way more bullish than expected. There has to be some wider channel working higher like this because we're just working too far. We're working too far up, and there has to be some trend in play. We can't just leave these bars naked on the chart. So this is when I switch to this bullish channel here working higher. And you can see, let me extend this a little bit. You can see we have an overshoot, a tiny overshoot of this uptrend. So at this point, I'm not thinking about a second entry long. I really want to see this. If I get a second entry long, I need some confirmation set up because a second entry long just wouldn't be enough with this overshoot. So I'm patient. I'd like to see this first leg play out with a break in a new low, and then possibly some failed second entry short above the EMA. So let's see what happens. Let's see how prices print. We have this leg working lower. We have a tiny break in a new extreme. So this is good. You can see that the bearish bias has depleted with the break in a new low. So I'm starting to think about some failed second entry short above the EMA if we can get it. Let's see what happens. We do in fact get a push above the EMA, so this is great. So when I see this these bars printing here, I'm starting to think about some failed second entry short, which would also be a second entry long if it forms here at the EMA. So I'm starting to count. We haven't exceeded this high yet. So I'm thinking about some second entry long here. You get a first entry long here, but can we get some second entry long at the EMA? You get a break in a new extreme, and looks like the second entry long formed here, but of course we're well below the EMA. So if we can get a push above the EMA, I mean, I'm still not giving up on this uptrend needing a new high. I'm thinking maybe some higher low. Let's see what happens. And we do push higher, and I was looking for some higher low in this area to confirm the second entry long here and uptrend needing a new high. But unfortunately, it just didn't form on my chart. It just skyrocketed higher. But prices played out just as anticipated. So perfect price action. A setup just unfortunately didn't form on my chart here. So this uptrend here played out with a break and a new extreme. So at this point, I'm just sitting on my hands. I'm letting prices print and waiting for the next market cycle. So let's see what happens. So prices didn't reverse here. They instead rejected the EMA. So this is the first sign that, hey, it's a little bit more bullish than expected. It's still a little bit too early to pinpoint what's the next market cycle, but we're definitely getting a clue here that it's a little bit more bullish than expected. And I wouldn't have this channel at the moment. I'm still sitting on my hands, seeing what the next market cycle is going to be. But then we push higher, and you get a second entry long here, but the body's quite far from the EMA, and I'm just not sold on um, I'm not sold on a channel working higher just yet. I'd like to see one more push phase or a confirmation setup of this second entry long, because we're coming off of a break in a new high here. We do in fact have one more push up, but I'd like to see one more push phase to confirm that we are in fact in a trending market. We could trap here and work lower after the break in new high, but if we do get one more push phase, it would give me enough trust to enough to trust this wider uptrend working higher. So let's see what happens. So the second entry long actually did work, but it just felt a little bit too premature for my liking. Body was too far from the EMA, and once again, I just felt premature given that we only had one leg working higher after the break in new high. I wanted to see that second push phase, but we did actually get the push phase. So now I can start looking for some wider channel, and this is what I was playing, something like this. So now, like in this area, when the downtrend's established and we're looking for the second entry short at the EMA, same thing here, downtrend's established, looking for the second entry short at the EMA. Now I'm looking for the same thing, but on the way up. So now I'm looking for the second entry long now that we have an uptrend in play. So let's see if we can get some second entry long at the EMA. First entries, count reset, first entry, count reset, first entry, count reset. So I have a leg working lower here. So let's see what happens. I have a push above the EMA, so I'm starting to think about some second entry long at the EMA. I was thinking about a second entry long here, but we have this bearish bar, which I don't want to buy above a bearish bar. I need to see some bullish bar. We have the bearish bar. I can't remember if it broke lower first or if it broke higher when I was watching this live. I want to say that it broke higher first, that it triggered the bearish bar, but of course we can't go long above this bearish bar. Yeah, that's exactly what happened. It triggered above this bearish bar first. So we can't go long above this bearish bar, but once it triggered, then I was starting to think, okay, maybe prices are going to form a bearish bar here, and then we get some little mini second entry long, and it would also be, if you count from the lows, a failed second entry short, because you have your first entry short here, prices ticked higher above this bearish bar, and it would create a second entry short on this bar, and then possibly give us some failed second entry short, which would also be a second entry long. Two double high probability setup. So that's what I was starting to think when I saw this bar printing here. And sure enough, it didn't tick lower, but it's still a failed second entry short, second entry long. Because if you count from this low, you have your first entry short, tick higher, because it ticked above this bearish bar first, then your second entry short, because it broke lower here, and then this would be the failure. And it's also like our visual second entry long. So this was a nice bullish bar. It's confirming the channel. There was a failed second entry short aspect to it as well. So I actually took a risk here on this. So yeah, I actually took a risk here. Um, so I was looking at it as that, like I said, the failed second entry short with the second entry long aspect to it. So let's see what happens here. We push higher, and we push lower and stops out. This was actually a higher risk setup. It was, I believe it was 22 ticks. So unfortunately I wasn't out just yet, and I got stopped out on this trade. But no worries. I mean, this leads me to the next thing I like to talk about. Some trades are going to work and some trades aren't. I mean, as long as the trades fit our rules, we have to keep taking them, because over time the probabilities will work out in our favor. So there's no, I mean, trades are going to get stopped out. This could be a perfect setup, but they're random. We don't know which trades are going to work and which ones aren't. We just have to keep taking them as long as they follow our rules. So no worries to feel any emotions or to feel anything. Um, if this ends up stopping you out, hey, it's just part of trading. No worries. Let's stay focused. Let's stay objective and keep a clear perspective for what's to come. So you actually another little mini second entry long here, which you can see it's working off of this support here. Problem is it was an inside bar on my chart, but the bias hasn't changed. It's still bullish, so I'm still thinking bullish here. We have a first entry long pullback, second entry long here, but it triggered above this bearish bar. We have somewhat of a downtrend working lower, a break in a new low. You get another higher low here because there's a count reset, and you get a higher low here. It formed like a little sketchy of a bar. Had somewhat of a tail on the top. It has failed second entry short aspect to it, but prices created this double top here, so it feels like you're buying on the top of the move. I'd like to see it trigger above this bearish bar and then create a bullish bar before this move up. But if we took this trade, I can see why. It has that visual failed second entry short aspect to it. And prices still need to create the new extreme. Your gut's telling you that prices are most likely going to break these highs, because according to rules, we just had our first break of this channel, so we would need a new extreme according to rules. And sure enough, prices push higher and create the new high. So now I'm sitting on my hands just waiting for the next market cycle here. We have a downtrend working lower, first entry long, second entry long failure. Body's a little too far from the EMA, but a failed second entry long fits the rules because our uptrend just played out with a break in a new high. Downtrend working lower. I'm trying to think about some second entry short at the EMA. Uptrend break in a new extreme. Another prolonged push up here. We have a leg working lower. So now on a higher time frame, you can see these nice first leg down, break, second leg down. So I'm trying to think about, okay, let's see if this support level can hold. Trading range would in fact take over as the next market cycle after this breaking new high. And failed second entry short would be very tempting above the EMA here. I wouldn't have this wider channel in play just yet, by the way. I'm playing this trading range at this point. So I got the first entry short, pull back. Can we get a failed second entry short in this area? But you can see prices just push higher. So no worries, we have this uptrend working higher now. So I'm looking for some second entry long at the EMA. We just continuously push higher here. So now I have the break of this uptrend. I'm expecting a new extreme. Have a first entry long pullback. Can we get some second entry long at the EMA? I have a second entry long here, but of course it's above this bearish bar. We can't buy above this bearish bar. I'm thinking about some double trap at the EMA, as you can see the first leg break, second leg here. Can we get some double trap in this area? And we just push higher, create this double top and work lower here. So I'm starting to think, okay, is the attempt enough? If we push lower into this trading range here, I would think of this attempt is going to be enough for the new high. If this resistance turns into support and we continue back above the EMA, prices may want to see that technical new high. So let's just see what happens. And this resistance did turn into support and we push higher. So when we push higher here, I'll start to think about some higher low in this area, take advantage of this uptrend needing a new high. But you can see prices just skyrocketed up and created the new high here. So now I have a new high. It definitely feels more bullish. It has this bullish imbalance to it. This push up was quite steep. But I didn't want to jump the gun just yet on the wider uptrend because I really wanted to see, after you get this leg working lower, one more push phase to confirm that this uptrend was the pattern. So this is more so just an area of development for me. I want to see prices play out and give us the next bias. There's definitely a bullish imbalance here, but it just feels quite neutral locally here. I want to see what the directional bias is going to be. So I'm just sitting on my hands here. You do get a higher low here, but once again, it's just not clear. I don't have the wider uptrend in play. Prices played out with the breaking a new high, so we could get a stronger correction here. So it's just not that clear that the bullish bias is going to be the next market cycle as of yet. I really needed to see another push phase here. So you can see we're working lower. After we get this push down here, I drew this wider downtrend. We have a first entry short and a push lower here. So now I'm starting to think about some second entry short at the EMA. Have a first entry short pullback, second entry short here, but I need to see something below the EMA. When we get this lower high here, I'm starting to think about some failed second entry long because according to rules, downtrend needs a new extreme here. So let's see what happens. I was starting to think about some second entry short here. This area, when we got this bar, I wanted to see some tick higher here in a second entry short, first entry short, second entry short. We're back above the EMA, and by the time the second entry short forms, it's above the EMA. So I can't take it above the EMA like this. I really need to see maybe a lower high confirmation setup to confirm prices want this new low, and we push back above. So that's when I was thinking about this two-legged pullback. I have first leg up, break, second leg up. So I'm starting to think about some failed second entry long below the EMA here. And this is confirming. This is perfect. This is what I want to see. I want to see some failed second entry long, which would also be a second entry short. We have a lower high here, but it forms quite sketchy on my chart, and prices push lower. But then we catch ourselves here. We didn't quite create the new extreme, and we're back above the EMA like this. So this is when I scroll back. I'm like, okay, now there's confirmation. There's some wider trend here. I have my first touch, second touch, third touch. When I was watching this live, I was playing it like this with an overshoot, and it made sense why there was a deeper pullback here because there was an overshoot, so there was a wider channel, deeper correction. It makes sense why there wasn't a new extreme for the downtrend because the trend line held prices and we're back above the EMA. This is a perfect area to look for some second entry long, take advantage of the next push phase. We just push higher and push higher without a second entry long. We push higher again. So this is when I widen this uptrend like this. And we're breaking it again with another overshoot. So now I'd like to see what happens here. We break higher again, but then you can see we quickly broke the EMA and we're working lower here. So this is just another little prolonged push up, and this area of the chart was an overshoot. So when there's an overshoot, we can draw a wider downtrend because we can expect a deeper correction like here, how we expect this deeper correction. Same thing in this area, we can expect a deeper correction. So we have the downtrend working lower. I'd like to see a break of this downtrend, a new low, maybe some failed second entry short above the EMA, take advantage of prices working higher here in the next push phase. Sure enough, we get the break and the new extreme. And just as we expected, we have a first entry short pullback, second entry short failure. Great confirmation setup of the next push phase. Downtrend played out the breaking new lows, so you know the bearish bias got depleted. and it played out. And now we're looking for the failed second entry short above the EMA to take advantage of prices continuing to work higher in the next push phase. Sure enough, perfect price action setup. But you can see we're already at market close, so this is only for educational purposes, but makes perfect sense. All the rules align. This would be a great setup to take advantage of. And look what happens. We push straight up. Perfect price action. So yeah, guys, this was the market for today. We can just go through it here in summary. Downtrend working lower, the break in a new low led into this channel working lower here. Fortunately, this channel didn't get a new low. It was quite unexpected. But prices just reversed with a break in a new extreme, led into another channel here with a break in a new extreme. We had two legs back in this consolidation. Prices push higher with the break in a new high here, somewhat of an area of development. As we just we had the break in the new high, we're just letting price action print to see what the next market cycle was going to be. It ended up being a downtrend working lower with a break attempt to create an extreme, but was held by this trend line. We get this push up. Now we're in this wider channel, so we're looking for that second entry long. At the EMA, we get an overshoot, which had a deeper correction here. We get a break and a new low of this downtrend, and we get that nice failed second entry short at the end of the day to start the new push phase. So yeah, guys, that was the price action today. Very predictable price action, fun day to trade. If this video was of help to you guys, please feel free to hit that like button. If you guys have any questions, feel free to comment below. I actually have a trading community where I'll post charts in real time and answer any questions that you guys may have in real time. If that's of any interest to you guys, please feel free to check out that link in the description below. But other than that, guys, I hope you guys had a good trading day, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thank you.